she's got to move it and then.
Just wait for things to calm down a bit. Just wait for things to calm down a little bit, if that's okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do feel it's unfortunate to have to present this motion directly after a debate where we were opposed, and I do hope that this is one where we can find some consensus. So I want to start off by saying we're very happy to accept the Labour amendment. So free school meals, why do we need them? Well, of course, we welcome that there have been a lot of positive changes in recent years. With the introduction of healthy schools, there has been improvements to the quality of food in schools. Although the intake dropped when they were first introduced, the uptake is now slowly rising. And thanks to my colleague, Councillor Paul Steedman, Green Councillor for Queen's Park Ward, we have adopted the Soil Association's bronze standards for Food for Life, which means that 75% of school meals are going to be freshly prepared. So there's lots of positive changes happening, but the issues that were highlighted by Jamie Oliver still exist, very much so. Many young people are still eating crisps, chips and sweets in their lunch hours. They don't have school lunches, many children. And also, one of the issues in schools at the moment is there are shorter lunch hours than probably what most of us in this chamber experience. We probably used to a 1-hour lunch break. At the moment, there's often half an hour or 45 minutes, so they don't even have time to have a proper school lunch. Just wait for people to quieten down a bit. So we really need to change the culture that's currently surrounding school meals, and we want to have a vision to create an opportunity for all young people to be able to sit down every day and calmly enjoy a healthy meal together with their friends every lunchtime. And that's a privilege which most children who attend private schools already enjoy. The trials in Hull, which we've mentioned in our notice of motion, have shown fantastic results. The number of children who took school meals doubled, and in some schools it went as high as 95%. Parents reported that they were eating more healthily at home, and teachers reported that the young people had better behaviour and were more relaxed in schools. Also, in Finland and Sweden, which have some of the best education in the world, they have free school meals, and they have about 90% and 85% respectively of children who have them. I want to really applaud the government for the steps it has made in committing to 2 more pilot projects along the same lines as Hull, and also the Scottish Government for pledging to roll out similar schemes in their primary schools. But what this motion is calling for, together with the Child Poverty Action Group, is to go one step further in 2 ways. First of all, as Jamie Oliver highlighted in his campaign, if we want to change the culture surrounding school meals, we've really got to involve children in growing and preparing the food as well. So education about food is vital to this as well. But also we think it should not be available just in primary schools. It must be continued and extended out to secondary schools. As we all know, I'm sure, a lot of behavioural problems happen in secondary schools, and sadly it's at secondary school that the majority of young people who become disenfranchised from education where that happens. At the same time, less than a third of 10 to 15-year-olds in this city are having their 5 fruit and veg a day. And of course, there's also much less uptake of school meals at secondary level compared to primary. So this is really a win-win-win situation. It's better for those people who are entitled to free school meals, because there's a massive issue at the moment. There's a stigma attached to receiving a school meal, which is why we won't be, of course, supporting the Conservative amendment, because it doesn't address that issue at all. At the moment, only 70% of those who are entitled to free school meals in primary schools are having them, and this drops to a half in secondary schools. This represents 300,000 people nationally as well, who are not, of the least well-off people who are not having the free school meals they're entitled to. It also benefits those families who are on low incomes, but who are below the threshold to qualify for free school meals. Could I just ask Mr. Mayor for people to stop talking, please?
You may.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to?
I think I've already done it. So this could save those low-income families about £15 per week per child, which, of course, we all know in this current economic climate is a lot of money. It's also better for those who come from wealthy households, because many of them currently don't take a healthy lunch. We've already got the evidence that providing school meals for free encourages people from all economic backgrounds to enjoy a healthy school meal together. And otherwise, it's just simply impossible for healthy food to compete with the peer pressure of incessantly advertised junk food that appears on our TV. Of course, you could say this will cost a lot of money, but it is really a drop in the ocean in the grand scheme of things. It represents a fifth of the amount of money that workers in the city received merely in bonuses in 2006 to 7. We're talking about £300 per year per child. And this is about investing in our own future. And young people, of course, are tomorrow's future. We do have massive problems still with our attitudes to meals, especially at school, and attitudes to healthy eating, and, of course, obesity too. So we've really got to address this all together. And the benefits, I think, are going to be massive. We know it will improve behaviour, it will improve learning, it will improve social skills for children, it will reduce bullying because children won't have to go to school with food or with money in their pockets. It will save struggling families money, and most importantly, it will improve health and quality of life. Please support this motion. I'm sorry, Mr Mayor, I think you've misunderstood, because it does actually say in our motion a third of Brighton and Hove children are obese by year 6, which would concur with what Councillor Rufus said. The 13.5% refers to how many children are obese in the year they start school at the age of 4, which the Conservatives seem to think is perfectly okay. Mr Mayor, just want to clarify a couple of things that have been said in this debate. I'm sure that Councillor Vanessa Brown is aware that the rules for notice of motion is we cannot make anything substantive which will cost the council money. So I don't understand quite what she was saying. In fact, we're calling for a rollout of a nationally funded free school meal programme. So this could save the council money it's currently spending on free school meals. This is actually what this motion is about putting pressure on the government. We've been talking all of today about how Brighton and Hove is leading the way. Let's lead the way with this. Of course, we're not expecting free school meals to suddenly happen tomorrow, but what we're doing is putting pressure on the government to prioritise this because we think this is really important. Regarding choice, of course we're not saying people can't have packed lunches. I don't remember writing anything like that in the motion. So we've already got also some other things where we give people their benefits regardless of what their income is. And I think it's really important that, of course, it's good to direct certain funding at the most needy, but it's also important to do some things universally. We've got winter fuel allowance for that very reason and child benefit, and we're suggesting this is just as important. Regarding the Conservative amendment, they've talked about promoting the uptake of free school meals, but they haven't said anything about how they're going to do that. Even if we were to think that their figures are correct, it seems to be saying that, OK, we're slightly better than the rest of the South East England, so we don't have a problem with obesity. I think that's a really unfair thing to say to the citizens of this city. The whole point about free school meals is it's really not fair to stigmatise and isolate young people because of what their parents earn. It's really not acceptable. And clearly 300,000 people in this country think that as well, enough to prefer to opt out of their free school meals. So let's lead the way. We've got an opportunity here to put pressure on the government to create a relatively simple and cheap and effective way to improve young people's education in this country. Surely we can have higher aspirations for the young people of this city.